pretty good. I've got my CC Gus as we talked about beforehand, and I'm ready to go for 45 minutes of qualifying and then about 50 minutes of racing. Yeah, it'll be soft medium as well. It's be interesting to see how these drivers will approach their qualifying with their tyre selections and their first laps, all that jazz. Get a limited supply of tyres, as we all know. They get 3 soft tyres and 1 medium tyre for the first 2 closed sessions, and if they do get into Q3, then they'll get an extra set of softs. But apparently we can't hear you, Gus, so all that conversation for nothing.
Well, at least I got to hear your wonderful voice, Seb. That's what counts. But yes, it is sorted now. Thank you for that. Need to get a dedicated mic that's always plugged in so OBS doesn't reset it every time I restart my computer. But they all sorted now. Thank you for those who called it out in the chat. And we're just waiting for Pondon to be the first one across the start-finish line and commence qualifying for Tier 1.
Yeah, so as I was saying, it looks like it will be soft meds, and as I said, interesting to see who goes out on what tyre at the moment. See Pondon already. He's not the fastest guy, and that's why we see him on the sauce, but he is on for the first lap here at the circuit Emilia Romagna. Is that right, Gus?
You're missing a few extra words.
I'm missing Enzo, something like that.
Yeah, there's a few other words in there, but we'll just call it San Marino. That's fine.
Or Imola, either or. You see 5 and 6 now for Pondon.
The Villeneuve chicane looks pretty planted through there.
See him get through his first lap. Always the tedious one. Just finding the rhythm. You see he misses the apex of turn 9. That's the most difficult braking zone on all the track. A double right-hander, turn 11 and 12. Gus, I believe you have the corner names. I don't.
I don't, but I've been watching a lot of the coverage on Sky this weekend. So Aqua Minerale is that corner name, and it's a lovely corner name as well. I think everyone loves to say Aqua Minerale. Into the final 2 corners goes Pondon. Oh, just keeping it within the track limits. Opens up the DRS. Only 1 DRS zone in Imola. And he sits at 114.977. It's a solid banker time there for Pondon. You'll notice as well, Baitmate on the intermediate tyres, so the game doesn't give you enough slick tyres to get through the 3 sessions like in real life, so some of the drivers will use the intermediates just to keep an extra set of softs in the bag for later.
It's a bit of a gimmick, doesn't really work that well, but it helps just to get yourself warmed up.
Well, I think FIBA tried to use the wet tyre at Jeddah, and it does not have any grip at all on a dry track, and did not last very long on those tyres. Here he comes across the line with a 114.509, so good to see him getting a solid banker time. We've seen a few weekends recently where he has struggled with his banker laps, pushing a bit too hard on his first run, and then basically puts himself into a one-shot quali situation every qualifying session. But good to see he's learnt from that last mistake and starting to just get a time on the board first before pushing too hard. The track limits very, very, very strict here, especially the final chicane in the last sector. Very tricky to get right with how much curb you have to take, but get those 4 wheels over the line and you will get that time invalidated.
As you said, tricky to get right. You have to push those limits. We see that a lot. It's a fun track, very flowing, very fast for hot lapping. It certainly has its limitations when you race on it. 1 DRS zone, Gus, just on the main straight, so qualifying also important around here.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bit of overtaking here in Tier 1. You can get a bit of a DRS train going. We saw that in Tier 3 a little bit. But the third and fourth cars in the train just cannot get past the car in front. So hopefully we see a little bit of good battling throughout the Tier 1 race in just about half an hour's time. A brief yellow flag there. I think it was just someone getting out of the way as Fever comes around the final corner to complete his first lap in qualifying. Goes to the top with a 1:13.660. Great time there from Fever. He's won all of our races so far this season, so is he going to be able to do another one in a row, Seb?
It looks like it. If he's heading a second, or really 9/10ths faster than your teammate, who is also a very fast driver, watch out, because that is a scary time to look at, Gus. And 45 points ahead in the championship of Mikko, who's not here tonight. It's a shortened season, more important on every race. I think that he is a massive favourite to win this championship at this moment in time.
Absolutely, yeah. To point out that Mikko is not racing tonight. He's being filled in for by JKO in the AlphaTauri car next to Batemate. So good luck to him tonight as his first AFR race. Oh, as Come On YouTuber has a big moment on the exit of the chicane in the final sector. Manages to collect the car up, but I wonder if he'll be able to replicate the Ferrari form we're seeing in real life at the moment in Imola. Crush up there in P7 on the medium tyre, so solid banker from him, but number of drivers yet to set a time yet, so we've got half the drivers go down to P10 have all set a time, but we've still got Trin, T-Mac, Endercat, Captain of Gold, Sandeezy, Big Al and Batemate yet to set a time, so because we don't have a full lobby tonight, we'll see the bottom two drivers will be eliminated from this qualifying session. So at the moment, that's Big Al and Batemate. Sandeezy is the driver at risk. Currently has no time, so all they have to do is get a time on the board for now.
I don't think we saw any of them on track at the start of the session, so...
Yeah, Sandeezy's on an outlap now, but the rest are still in the pits, so maybe they're just waiting for the track to rubber in a little bit, saving a set of tyres, rather than go out on the intermediates like Batemate did. Fever's retired already.
Yeah,
I think that 1:13.6 is well and truly safe.
I was just about to mention that. I'd say that Fever could retire here, and 13.6 that's a pole time. So.
And that's his banker lap. I can't wait to see what time he's going to do in Q3. Assuming that he has a straightforward Q2 and makes it all the way through without any issue. Trent comes across the line with 115.5, sorry. And what do you reckon is going to be the cutoff time for Q1 here, Seb?
Oh, that's a tough question to ask straight away. We're looking at 14.9s around there, I'd say. Maybe 14.8s is the cutoff time for Q1.
Yeah, and it's going to be a bit tricky as well with only the two drivers going to be eliminated. That's probably going to leave a little bit more time for the drivers who aren't quite as quick in this tier. Might just be able to sneak through, whereas in previous weekends they might have struggled to get through to Q2. So always good to see people getting that opportunity. As Sandeezy goes purple in the second sector. The AlphaTauri's teammate coming out of the pits as well.
We're just on board with Sandeezy. Oh, a couple of tyres in the grass on the outside. Hasn't affected his braking into what really is the main final braking zone of the track. It's an okay time, but he's below Pondon and he's in that kind of danger spot. So you asked me to identify it. A 14.8, a 14.9 is that kind of cut-off as Pondon, as it has a 14.79, Gus.
Yeah. Sorry, you got me right as I was choking. Yes, Captain of Gold now on for, as I said, his first time. And the AlphaTauri as well. Currently still man at risk. And Big Al and Batemate still yet to set a time. And still in the pits as well. And a cat in the pits as well. Leaving it a little bit late, 8.5 minutes. So are they going to do one-shot quali or are they going to do 2 laps here right at the end?
I'm assuming it's going to be the latter, Gus. 2 laps at the end. I think Bait and Big Al both know that they are fast enough, and I think they are fast enough that they can do that and get away with it.
It's a lot of pressure though, and with the track limits as strict as they are here, it's putting a lot of pressure on the drivers to perform. We've seen a few of the drivers get unstuck with the track limits in previous weekends. Only time will tell though. As you see, Captain of Gold, he struggled a little bit in the first sector. It looked like the exit of the Villeneuve chicane was really difficult for him. Nearly ended up in the gravel as Sandeezy. Looks like he's trying to give his teammate a toe, but they've really messed that one up. Looked like Sandeezy was caught napping a little bit. Has to get out of the way to avoid impeding his teammate. Comes through into the final couple of corners. And the car's looking pretty good through there. Short shifts up to 5th. Goes under the DHL signage, across the DRS line, and then across the finish line, setting a 1:14.7. And it should be pretty safe time. We've got Psycho in the chat reckoning that a 14.7 will be a safe time for getting into Q2. Jumping board with T-Mac in the Alpine. Most of the Alpines yet to set a time. Big Al going out on the medium tyre.
Interesting. Might just do a lap, come in, and then have 2.5 minutes to do one more lap.
He validated the second last corner, and that's going to validate his next lap as well. Track limits there are very, very punishing. Either of the last 2 corners, if you invalidate, the game will invalidate your next run as well. So T-Mac under a lot of pressure. That means that he's going to have to come back in the pits. I doubt he's got enough fuel in the car. Really
sorry, Gus, but Big Al's gone off at the Villeneuve chicane this time. It's a 6, so both Alpines struggling right there.
Oh, Alplan is falling apart at the moment. Gonna both have to do one-shot quali right at the death. This is what I was talking about before. It's going to put a lot of pressure on these drivers. Big Al especially is one of the fastest drivers in Tier 1, and to have to do an all-or-nothing lap just to get out of Q1 is very, very high-pressure stuff. So hopefully he's able to get that stuff. With 6 minutes to go in the qualifying session, Fever, of all people, has joined the Twitch chat as well, so he's feeling very, very comfortable tonight.
He's about 1.2 seconds ahead of our identified cut-off time. I think he could sit back, pull the chair back, have a pint, maybe have a drink with us, Gus. Maybe, you never know.
Definitely don't drink and drive, please. Crash there on a lap for the Ferrari. Got just over 5 minutes left in the session. And still 4 drivers yet to set times. We've got Andocat on an outlap as well. Baitmate's still in the pits.
Big Al's going again, Gus.
We'll see how Crush goes, and we'll jump on board with Big Al in a moment. It's on purple in the middle sector, has the Ferrari. The Simdog up into P4. Great lap from the Aston Martin driver. His teammate Ekem goes across the line in 6th. Here comes Crush out of the final corner. And he sets a time of 1:14.4. Very, very good time there. Jumping on board with Big Al, who's going through Aqua Minerale as we speak. Coming up to the final chicane. Start of Sector 3. Takes a lot of curb. Keeps the revs nice and low. Control that wheel spin on the exit. This is looking like a better lap here for the Alpine driver. And comes down the hill into the final 2 corners. Just kisses the curb on the inside for both corners. Using a decent amount of the curb there on the exit. Shortens the track distance as much as possible. Comes across only 11th with the 1:15 flat. Is that going to be safe enough, Seb?
No, it's... I'm not sure he has a fuel either to get back to the pits.
4 minutes to go. It's a short
30.
lap here. If he pushes,
and he's low on fuel. Look at his fuel light. It's flashing.
He's retired. He's retired for the session. So
no.
maybe he's decided he doesn't have enough time to get there. His teammates come out of the pits as well. We'll see Big Al there on the left-hand side of the track. It's down P12 now. And we've got Andocat has actually invalidated his first run, so he's going to go again now. Opens up the throttle out of the final corner, and we'll jump aboard the Mercedes for this lap with just under 4 minutes to go in the session.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried for Big Al at the moment. 15-0, combined Pepsi teammate gets to do a lap, same with Andocat and Bait. We're all pretty fast drivers, and I think Combine and Pepsi can both crack that 14.9 barrier, so I think Big Al's in for a world of hurt here.
Absolutely. Andocat keeping it flat on the entry to the Villeneuve chicane. Goes purple in the first sector.
So brave into the entry of Villeneuve chicane. You don't normally see that. It's such a tricky corner to get right, and if you get that curb the wrong way with the wrong amount of brake or throttle, you can spin around, and we saw that with Condon last season.
Used absolutely every millimetre of track limits there, the left-hander.
Oh.
Big step in Aqua Minerale. That's going to cost him time, but he keeps the lap going. He's got 3 minutes left in the session. Comes into the chicane. start of sector 3. Nicely controlled the rear traction. Comes over the crest of the hill, down to the final 2 corners, using every little bit of the road on entry. Flicks it across the left, misses the apex slightly, runs a bit wide on the exit curb, keeps it legitimate. Sindoga retires, he's happy with his time of 14.4. And Ando goes P12 with a 114.8. That pushes Big Al down to 13th. We've got T-Mac and Baitmate on laps at the moment. We've got Baitmate's going to cross the line first, comes to the chicane. 2.5 minutes to go. Is purple in the second sector.
He looks good, Gus. I think Bait's clear.
It's looking very, very good indeed. We've got a Poly Pepsi out on track at the moment as well for the Haas. It's got to find over a second, though, to knock Big Al out of qualifying. Baitmate comes across the line, and it'll be... Oh, second faster, the 114.333, just 200ths of a second quicker than Artanis. A jump aboard with T-Mac. Is he going to put his teammate into the danger zone as Combined YouTuber also comes out of the pits for his final run? He has to find a second as well to beat the Alpine driver. And T-Mac across the line goes 12th fastest, pushes his teammate into the man at risk position.
Pepsi will be next. I don't think Big Al's going to get out of here. I think he's gotten a bit too cocky with it, a bit too safe.
Well, Pepsi's 3/10 up on his time. It's good enough for 15.8. He's got to find another 8/10 though to get into Q2. Combined YouTuber also starting his lap, and Pepsi makes a little bit of a mistake in Aqua Minerale. He's going to try and get a tow from the Alfa Romeo of Captain O'Gold. Nearly runs at the back of him because he was not moving at all. Does take an optimal line through the chicane, runs a bit wide and invalidates. We're going to jump on board with Ferrari now. Nearly 4/10 up. Or can he find another 5/10 for the rest of this lap to get through into Q2?
You'd think he can. How's the exit? Pretty good, Gus.
Really nice. He short shifted up to just control the wheel spin on the exit. Comes up the top of the mountain. Now, how's he going to go on the left-hander? Shifts down a couple of gears. Gets on the throttle nice and early. Doesn't use all the track limits available, but he comes down the hill into Aqua Minerale. No braking at all. A little bit of a lift as he comes into Aqua Minerale, but he's good on the throttle. Straight full throttle as soon as he comes out of that corner, and that's going to be good. He comes across 5/10 up now. He's got to find another 3/10 in this final sector. Goes through the chicane. It's pretty good. He goes purple in the second sector, in fact. And here he goes, comes down the hill towards the final 2 corners. And is this going to be enough to get him out of Q1? Comes across the final corner now. Looking pretty good. That Ferrari's looking planted. Uses a lot of limits. He's got a tow from his teammate as well. Pepsi doing the team... Oh, sorry, Crush doing the team thing.
He's just got it.
He's got him. He's got him by 1/10. And Big Al is out of Q1. Mega draw by the Ferraris. Well done to Crush for being there for his teammate, and well done for Combined for grabbing the lap together right at the death. And Big Al will start P16.
He said 14.9, 14.8. That was the cutoff, and Big Al did not get on his medium time. Decided to retire for some reason or another. And look where he is. He's out of qualifying in the first quali session. He should be in the top 5, Gus.
Yeah, absolutely. So we noted that he was leaving it very, very late to set his time. But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe a little bit too overconfident that he was going to get the job done. But this is why you want to get a banker lap in nice and early. And then you can push right at the end and just get that comfortable time. Or if you're like Fever and an absolute alien, you can just set your banker time, which is also your pole position time. So,
question is, what planet's he from?
We're just waiting for Combined to come back to the pits. And in fact, I think he's going to take the checkered flag. Well done to the young man there. Knows that's going to be the quickest way to end the session for everyone else. So, wow. It's surprising, yeah, to see Big Al all the way down the bottom there. And Poly Pepsi, the other driver, knocked out in Q1. See there. Both of them setting their best time on the medium tyre, so everyone else opting to do the soft. I wonder if they've just missed a trick there with that time.
I'm just looking at that time by FIBA, and that is ridiculous. It's all 6/10 in front. It's 13.6 in the first session, Gus. It's crazy.
23.7, 25.3, and a 24.5. Bankmate done a 24 flat, 25.5, and a 24.7. So, bit of time to be found there by the AlphaTauri driver. Yeah, it's an absolutely monster lap there from FIBA. Well, how quick do you think he's going to go, Seb?
Well, the track doesn't really evolve that much around here too much over the course of the 3 quali sessions, so I'm thinking low 13s. I don't think he can crack into the 12s, but I think a 13-2 or 13-3 is well within reach of Fever.
We'll find out shortly as we commence Q2 here. We've got 15 drivers left in the session. They've got 15 minutes to get their quickest time. That'll get them into Q3. Now, what do we reckon the cutoff's going to be here? So we had a prediction that it was going to be 14.7. It turned out it was going to be a 15 flat.
Well,
For Q1.
I'm thinking this one's a 14.6/14.7 this time. A bit of evolution, but we will have to wait and see.
Well, Sindog, first one to come out of the pits in the Aston Martin. Do you reckon anyone's going to be brave enough to try and start the race on the medium tyre, Seb?
No, I think you'll see everyone here on softs doing 2 laps on its soft tyres, apart from Faber if he absolutely nails that first time. But T-Mac and Bait all come out onto the meds. Interesting that Faber actually has come to meds. The only driver I think who could do it is Faber to qualify in the meds, get in the top 10 and still get to that 3rd qualifying session. I think the rest of the grid would be putting themselves in a bad situation if they were to try and get through to Q3 on medium tyres.
So with Mikau not in the picture tonight, do you think Fever's going to roll the dice a little bit, just try and qualify on the medium tyres and do the alternate strategy for the race, or will he play it safe just to try and guarantee he'll get the 26 points?
Well, if he wants to have a bit of fun, I think he'll qualify on the meds, but if he wants it for the championship, which I know he does, I think he'll do a lap on the meds and come in and do his final run on the soft tyres.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for the follow, Eagle. Thanks for joining us tonight. And we'll jump on board with Simdogger now as he starts our first lap for Q2.
Technically just go to turn 1. It's always a negative to start P1 and maybe even P3 because you are pointed right at the track limits at the grass, so you have to get that steering wheel to the right at the start, which we'll see and talk a bit more about later, probably the formation lap. It's always something to keep an eye on. If you get poor traction off the line, it will, on top of having to turn away from the grass on the left hand side, you got to control the throttle more, and it just compounds at the start if you have a bad launch.
Yeah, we saw how much a bad launch can affect you last night in the F1 sprint race with Verstappen dropping back a position before he got to Q1. Turn 1, sorry, I should say. So, yeah, that start has to be really, really good here with that long straight down to turn 1. You don't want to get bogged down at all because you will be absolutely swamped. See Simdogger flicks it into the final corner. Looked like a pretty steady lap there from our Saman driver. It comes across the line and it is a 1:14.5, so he's already exceeded that cutoff time you were predicting, Seb.
Yep, he's someone you'd be expecting to be in the fight for the top 5, maybe even a podium, Simdogger. He's had a good build up to the race, showing some positive time as he went across the line for 15.6. You see Ponded on the grass.
Yeah, he had a bit of a moment there. I think he was on a flying lap there and he must have made a mistake coming out of the final chicane. He was mowing some grass there, but he made it back into the pit, so he'll jump back out in a moment. And combine YouTuber coming into Aqua Minerale in the Ferrari. Oh, so committed, flicking into the first right-hander. There's purple in the second sector. Oh, he nearly lost the rear there. Good save, but that's going to hurt his time. He's going to push through with the lap, though. He does have enough time to do another one.
Struggling on the pad with these quick direction changes is combined.
Yeah, just noticed out of Aqua Minerale, very, very jerky motion. He was coming up the hill. And he starts to complete the lap, and he'd come across the line. Goes P2 with 1:15.3, so slower than his time he's set to get out of Q1. So there is more time in the tank there from him. We're going to jump aboard with our reserve driver for tonight, Jake Arrow, as he comes through first couple of corners and into Villeneuve chicane.
Oh,
looks like
Fever's
he's absolutely on rails there.
Yeah, Fever's just done a 14.54 on the med, so I think he is pretty much safe if he wants to start on those medium tyres for the race.
Yeah, because Simdog although with a 14.5 as well. We know that Bait can do a competitive time like that too, so can Trin. Just wonder if he might just have the softs fitted to the car just in case. He might decide in the last couple of minutes if he'll come out, or is JK just cuts the curb a little bit too much and invalidates his run.
Interesting, that left-hand side curb of that last chicane is a lot nicer to you in the race. You can get away with a bit more there, but it didn't help that he was further to the left. Didn't really open up that angle to get those tyres over and keep at least a tyre within track limits.
On board with Trent now in the Haas as he comes to the Villeneuve chicane. Yet to set a time, but only 6 drivers have set one so far. Got Ekim and Hero and Sandeezy on outlaps at the moment. And Crush as well is coming out of the pits for Ferrari. Oh, Trin using absolutely every little piece of road he can. Oh, he's nearly lost the rear again, coming through the chicane. I did think he was carrying a little bit too much speed into the chicane and managed to save it, but it's going to hurt his time a little bit, but the rest of the lap's looking pretty good, so I think it could be a good enough time to get him into Q3. Bit of a wobble out of the final corner though, starts to get a little bit too much to the rear there. Comes across the line with a 14.3, that's a great time there from Trin.
Yeah, I think they'll get him into Q3.
Well, it's the fact that he made that mistake in the chicane as well. He could be on for another couple of tenths. If he pushes a bit harder, he might even just scrape into the 13th. It's a great lap.
Very good lap indeed. Jake Ho, who we were watching before, is about to cross the line. His first time of the day, and he goes even faster.
14.2. Artanis as well, the 14.3. And another mistake from Hero. Just coming out of turn 2. Just touched the grass and unsettled the car. Bieber now down to P5 with that medium run. 14.5, he's switched to the soft tyres in the garage. So like I said before, he's just playing it safe. He might wait and see if he's going to do a run on those soft tyres at the end just to guarantee he gets through. And Ekim is out. He's crashed out just after the hairpin. Looks like he's lost the rear on the exit curb and he's into the wall. And he's out of qualifying, so he will start no higher than 15th place.
You see Hero literally drifting through the exit of Aqua Minerale. How fast he is. He has issues with keeping that car on a straight line though, especially in the race. When those tyres start to wear, pressure gets on. Multiple race winner though. He can put it together, Gus. And then I think this is where we'll see.
Oh, he's in the wall, but he's managed to just take enough speed off that he hasn't.
Careful.
He's gone straight into the pits, but Captain of Gold was on an in-lap, so he hasn't invalidated his time, but that was scary there for Hero. Almost crashed out of qualifying.
Lucky man. Very lucky man.
Coming back to Crush, who's finishing his lap for Ferrari. And he'll come across the line. So 1:14.192. As Feber comes out of the pits to start another lap.
Here's Sandeezy with a 14.6.
And that was on 2-lap old soft tyres as well, so probably got a little bit more time to find there with a fresh set.
Batemate as well doing a lap 1.6 up as of the start of Sector 3.
And on board with Andercat as well on the, his first run for Mercedes.
Hasn't been their year so far. AFR and real life.
Absolutely. Must be something going on headquarters. Oh, he's nearly lost it out of the hairpin and he's backed out already. He's going to charge the battery up and go again, I think, at the end of this lap.
He's someone that needs a perfect lap to be able to get into that final qualifying session. Even to get into a prime slot of being in P11 or P12, having a free tyre choice going into that race. 32 laps of this 19 corner track. Not really 19 corners, or about 15. But still.
It's on board with Fever now. He's 2 tenths up on his time. At the moment, it's going to set him in 1:14.3. He's gone purple in that first sector.
Oh, gee, I don't understand how can the esports guys and how Fever can just throw the car in there, have it stick first off, and get the response he does from the car as well, and then balance it so nicely
Purple
through
in the
the mid-quarter on
second
exit.
as well. That was absolutely insane pace. But when it gets out of the way there, Fever uses so much confidence. He ran a bit wide there. Oh, I'm
Lucky.
surprised that didn't invalidate.
That's
Look
too
how
wide.
that's invalidated there. Let's see what time he would have done though. He's lifted 13.9.
Well, this could be issues actually. He needs to come back to the pits a minute 15. I think he'll have time.
The fuel light's not on yet, so we still haven't enough. But he was into the 13s there, even with that mistake and lifting. So that would have been 13.5 or something.
Ridiculous times. I'm expecting him to come into the pits here. He has wasted a set of softs. He does have the time to come in the pits and do
He's got
one more lap.
Fuel light coming on now, so there's 4 minutes to go. And his teammate Hero is yet to set a time, and he's on a flying lap now.
McLaren a bit all over the place at the moment. Fever's been favourite. I wasn't expecting him to come out on the meds because everyone else will be on the softs, so the meds are a bit tricky to get heated up from the start of the race. It's almost beneficial to be on the softs because of that tyre temperature advantage, I guess you could say, as Anocat has given up on the session and retired in the pits. P11, I don't think he sees his qualifying going anywhere. That's a great Aquaman rally from Hero there.
That's strange. I'm surprised he's retired there because he would have gained time there. He was sitting on a 19.9. He could have easily found a few seconds there, even with the used set of tyres.
Yeah, as you said, he had the time to come out again, but he didn't want to for whatever reason.
And Captain of Gold behind him is not set a representative time yet. He's on a 1 minute 40. Ekim has crashed out. Hero and Pondon yet to set times. Hero going to come across the line. I think it's going to be a good one. Goes faster, 13.8. He's the first one into the 13s on a valid lap. And pushes his teammate down to 8th place. There's a couple of drivers still yet to set times. And the rest of the drivers yet to do their final run. So this is going to get spicy. Fever made a mistake on his second run on the soft tyres.
I don't see Combined getting past a 14.8, so it's down to Pondon, T-Mac, Captain of Gold, Sandeezy to see who will get into Q3, in my opinion.
Simdog is up by 2/10. Oh, it looks like he's going to do a 14.3 if he can finish this lap off nicely. Here we go, comes out of the final corner. Opens to DRS, and he's done a 14 flat. Great time there from Simdogger.
Great time is T-Mac. I think he aborted a lap before. Or just then. He was a 10th up out of the first sector, so he will get another crack at it, but it's do or die now for the Queenslander.
Captain of Gold's invalidated again. He's going to get ready to go again as well. Imola Tanis is in Sector 1. 5,000s up on his current time. And he's invalidated, ran a bit too wide at the left corner in Sector 2.
I think he'll be okay. He's got some time to do another lap if he wants to.
Yeah, a minute to go in the session.
I think that time's safe enough. Looking like that cutoff will be around a 14.5 or 14.4 maybe.
Oh, Combine's had a spin at Aqua Minerali. He's lost his front wing on the wall, but he is still there.
Watch it.
Oh, his T-Mac just sneaks through, so does Jake Arrow. And Combine's qualifying is done. T-Mac's down 1.6 seconds. And jump on board with, who else have we got? Alpha Romeo's on a lap at the moment. Sandeezy's invalidated. Captain of Gold's still going though.
T-Mac may have enough fuel to go for one more run, but
10 seconds to
Captain
go.
of
And Captain Gold goes P5, pushes FIBA down to 9th place. Sandesi, I think, just got across the line. There goes the checkered flag. So the Haas, I think, got the checkered flag. Trin is done. 8th place at the moment.
Pondon's done as well. Invalid lap time, Gus.
Absolutely. T-Mac. Oh, T-Mac, what are you doing? He's just ruined Captain Gold's lap. He looked like he made a mistake out of turn 2, and he just moved across in front of Captain Gold, who's trying to avoid contact there, and he's done.
He's extremely lucky Captain Gold was outside of that bottom 5 there, Gus. Otherwise, there's a good chance he gets reported and he gets a penalty. His FIBA is a lucky
corner,
man.
4 tenths up. And he goes faster than 13.808. He's only 800s faster than his teammate, though, so could we see a battle between the McLarens for pole position in Q3? And we've got a couple of drivers just finishing off. Sandesi will be the next across the line. He's currently in P10. But he is safe. There is no one behind him who was able to knock him out of qualifying. So that is it. T-Mac, combined YouTuber, Endocat, Ekem, and Pondon all out of qualifying. Pondon and Ekem not setting a time. Pondon, I don't see what happened. He must have invalidated his final run. Ekem we saw retired out of the hairpin earlier. But yeah, Endocat not setting a representative time there. 4 seconds off the pace. And that is it for Q2.
The cutoff ended being a 14.3. Well, we saw FIBA summon for 13.6, so obviously I don't think that was the cleanest lap. He just wanted to start on the soft tyres, but it could be a shootout here, Gus. I don't think it will be, but we've still got a chance.
He will probably have an extra set of soft tyres, though, compared to his teammate, because he used the mediums in that first stint in Q2 there, so maybe I might give him the edge over his teammate. And here we go. 13.808 for FIBA, 13.888 for Hero. And pretty decent competition we've got here. We've got half a second covering the top 10, so that's how close it is here in Tier 1 at AFR. Unfortunately, a few drivers getting caught out by the track limits towards the back. See what the tyre allocations are so far. Looks like FIBA used medium soft because of course he did invalidate that run, his first run on the softs as well, so does have a scrub set of softs that he'll probably use open Q3. Hero got through on the 1 set of softs, so I actually think it's probably going to be even Steven coming into Q3 between those two now, Seb.
Could very much be. We know if Hero gets some time, he can certainly bang out those laps. But it all comes down to if you can execute. And FIBA nearly didn't execute.
Absolutely.
That second qualifying, didn't he?
Yeah, set an okay time in the medium tyre, which I think in the end probably would have got him through anyway on the mediums. But yeah, that second run that he did on the soft tyre invalidated his lap right at the end. And it put a lot of pressure onto him to try and get it together. But here we are, Q3, Trin, Crush, JKO, Hero, Artanis, FIBA, Captain of Gold, Simdogger, Sandesi, and Baitmate. Your top 10. And we're just 12 minutes away from finding out how the grid will settle.
Was FIBA's med time a 14.5? Because if it was a 14.5, he doesn't get through because Sandesi did I believe a 13.9 at the end of the session.
Right. So yeah, he wouldn't have made it through then on the medium. So well done to him for getting out on the softs.
Interesting to see cars out already on track. You'd expect to see them come out around 9 minutes left, 8 minutes left in the session. But they get out straight away. Maybe some will do 2 laps, maybe just want to get a banker out. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, with the track limits, it makes sense to just put a little bit extra fuel in the car, just in case you invalidate your first run. The extra fuel doesn't add much time, if anything. So better to be safe, just do the 2 runs. And especially given that these aren't the tyres you're going to be starting the race on, so it doesn't matter if they've got no life left afterwards.
Well, I believe an extra kilo is about a tenth of lap time. I don't actually know if that's a thing, that's just how the game has calculated it. So
we've got a forehead in the chat saying that P9 Q3 time in F1 Esports was a 13.4. So how close is FIBA going to get to that time, I wonder?
It's crazy we are saying that. Figuring out how close one of our drivers gets an esports time. A 13.6 in that first quali, you'd think he could.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I assume that there's some sort of track evolution that occurs between the sessions. This normally happens at other tracks. Hopefully, we'll be able to see him set a very rapid time indeed. We're on board with JKO now, who's currently on a lap behind, I think it's Simdogger. A little bit of oversteer there out of the hairpin. He keeps it going, but that's going to cost him a tenth or two.
Even got on the grass a bit when he didn't need to. That cost him another half a tenth or so.
Oh, he's nearly lost the rear in Aqua Minerale. He catches it though. Well done to him, but that's going to ruin his lap time there. Jump back. I think that's oh, Sandeezy is going to be the next one to set a time. And he's validated again the same way he did last time. Back with Trin, who ran very, very wide on the exit of the chicane, but he keeps it valid. So this will be the quickest time. Q3, the first runs. Here we go. Oh, he misses the apex in the final corner.
2 in a row, Gus.
And he comes straight in the pits. He knows that wasn't a good time. Hero has invalidated FIBA, though, on his out lap. So I'm going to jump back. That Captain of Gold, I think, is going to come across the line. We still haven't got someone to set a time yet, because everyone in front of them is invalidated. Here we go. Captain of Gold comes across the line and sets the first time in Q3. It's a 1:14.5.
Needs improvement.
Definitely. We've got
FIBA.
Who we got? Hero is going to be across the line next, but he's invalidated. We're jumping with Artanis, who is also invalidated. And who's next across the line? I think it's going to be Baitmate. There we go. No, that's not Baitmate. Simdogger. There we go. Aston Martin. Well, how about that? The pressure of Q3 has just caught a lot of the drivers out. Every single one of them, except for Captain of Gold, is invalidated so far.
Some drivers just not getting routines out, getting that lap out. Have something to reach for, something to push as hard as possible for.
Well, here comes Simdogger out of the final corner. Looks like this is going to be a valid time as well. JKO goes 1:14.064. Simdogger goes 1:14.208. Sandeezy invalidated his second run as well. And he's coming into the pits with FIBA though. Through as always, through the second last corner and the last corner. He just throws the car into the corners and it just sticks. Oh, a little bit of wheel spin on the exit. Nearly lost the rear, but he kept it together. Comes across the line, and it's a 13.8. Great time there from FIBA, but a little bit more in the tank to find, I'm sure.
About a tenth in that last corner for him, and he'd know that.
Baitmate's invalidated as well. He comes into the pits. Hero though.
Oh. Hero had a purple middle sector, but it's just...
Big snap in the chicane, yeah. He just jumped on board as he lost it. So far, only 4 times are on the board, so at the moment, just get a time. That's all you need.
Oh, no.
He's done a Carlos Sainz in the second last corner. He touched the curb. He keeps it out of the wall, though, and he should be able to go again, but that was almost shot for shot exactly the same as Carlos Sainz in qualifying on Friday night.
Minus the wet track, minus the papaya coloured car for an orange one. I mean a red one, sorry. And he gets it at the wall.
Yeah, he did very, very well there. And, he comes to the pits, he'll get a new set of tyres on, and he'll go again. We only had half the drivers set valid times on those runs. That is crazy.
Spread of 7/10 as well, so a lot of gap filling to be done by the other 5, Trin, Hero, Jackson, Sandeezy and Bait. Expect Bait to be up there, Trin to be in the middle of it, Jackson up there as well. We don't know where Sandeezy is, but he did do a 13.9 come the end of Q2, and we all know how fast Hero is, so a lot of moving around to this ladder to do.
Well, we know from Q2 that the spread between these guys should only be about 0.5 of a second, but just the pressure of this deciding the top 10 has caught half of our drivers out. And a couple of little mistakes as well from the likes of Simdogger and Captain of Gold. We know they can go faster than that. We'll just have to wait as they get their new sets of tyres done. Build the tank up a little bit. Go out for one last push as we tick over to 5 minutes left in Q3. And then we'll know our grid for round 5 of Season 8 Tier 1 Aussie Formula Racing.
It's the calm before the storm, Gus. We're about a minute, we'll start seeing cars come out.
Absolutely. What's your predictions from here? So you think it's going to be FIBA from here, or are we going to see a bit of a surprise from maybe Hero pulling the cat out of the bag?
I'm seeing a FIBA Hero front row. I don't know who will be that P3 driver. My money at the moment is on Sandesi or Jackson, but wait and see. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fair amount of pressure here on FIBA, though. His 13.8 isn't safe. But we've seen the other drivers all set times quicker than that in Q2. So he's going to have to get it together and make sure he's guaranteed that pole position, because we know that the likes of Crush, JKO, Sindogger, and Hero, Trin, Baitmate, Sandesi, they all can get that time on the board. And if there's another mistake, if FIBA invalidates, then it could be pole for anyone here.
Not wrong. With track evolution, you'd think that some drivers have a good chance of it here.
So we've got both the Alfa Romeos coming out onto the track now. And the first team to get ready for their final push in qualifying. We've got the Haas of Trin coming out as well. Artanis in the pit lane as well. Both McLarens coming out of the garage now. So everyone getting ready. So 1:13.813 is the current provisional pole time from FIBA. It's still 5 drivers yet to set a valid lap, and I reckon we might see everyone try and time it and fill the car up just enough to do 2 runs, because you'll not want to invalidate here, because you don't want to be sitting in the midfield, especially going into turn 1 at Imola.
Such a fast turn 1. F1 deems it as turn 2, but it really is turn 1. And it's so fast and so tight. We can see a lot of accidents, especially if some drivers get caught 3 wide, Gus.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's when you really just need to sit back and just, oh, maybe not. Maybe I'll go for next turn. So, but here we go. Captain of Gold comes across the start-finish line to commence his final run here in qualifying 3. Brakes just before the 50-meter board, flicks it into turn 1 and into turn 2, keeps it flat for turn 3. And here we go. Is he going to brake it all? No. Slight lift, shifts down through the exit of the Villeneuve chicane. And he's currently 17 thousandths of a second up on his previous times. He comes into the hairpin. Oh, he's had a snap of oversteer on the exit. That's going to hurt his time. But he keeps the foot planted up the hill. Coming into the left-hander, shifts down a couple of gears, and he's run very wide, and he's lost it! He's lost it! Goes into the wall. No damage, but that's going to ruin that set of tyres, and I don't think he has enough time to get back to the pits to get it replaced. And jump up with his teammate. No, he's run wide at Aqua Minerale over the curbs. Hopefully no floor damage there, but absolutely horrid first lap there from the Alfa Romeo pair.
Way too much speed carried into the corner there for Sandesi, and you see that rear end snap out on him. Lucky to keep it alive.
So back on board with Trin in the Haas into Aqua Minerale he goes. Absolute commitment there. Didn't quite use as much of the exit curve as he could, but he might be saving that for his second run if he goes again. Comes into the chicane in the final sector. Keeps the speed up. Doesn't invalidate. Really good job there from the Haas driver. Coming down the hill to the final 2 corners now. Got a yellow flag. That's just a McLaren letting enough tarry through at Aqua Minerale. And here we go. Trin into the final corner. Throws the car in. Runs wide. Very, very tidy final sector. And he does a 14.3. So it's P5 at the moment. As Artanis does a 13.9. Goes to P2. Now we've got Hero only good enough for a 14.0 at the moment, but he does have time. We're going to jump back to JKO. Always had a big moment out of the second last corner, and his last corner as well. I think those rear tyres might be overheated. The dash tells me it's over 100 degrees. And he'll come across the line. Does not improve. He's 2/10 slower there. His teammates just started a lap though as well. We've got FIBA coming across the line now, but it's 14.5 seconds down, so I think that was just the second warm-up lap.
Hero, purple first sector by 3 thousandths.
And Simdogger goes P2 with a 1:13.859, so he's only 400ths of a second off pole at the moment, where the Ferrari of Crush has just started a lap as well. But we're going to jump back to see if the Alfa Romeos have got their stuff together. No, Captain of Gold down by 7/10. The jump aboard with Sandisi now. Has he been able to get some time on this lap? We've got 3 seconds left to go. They will get the checkered flag, but it looks like they're going to do a tow. Really good job there by Captain of Gold to help his teammate out as they come across the line to see the checkered flag. And he improves by 12.5 seconds. It's good enough for third place with 1:13.9. We're going to jump on board with Trin now, who's 10th up, but he is invalidated and he is done.
Hero invalidated. Here's out of the last chicane, Gus.
Jump on board with Artanis, who's in the last corner now as well. And he comes into the pits. We're going to jump on board with the Alpha Tauri. That is Baitmate. What time is he going to do? He's currently sitting 10th with no time on the board. He comes across the line, only good enough for 8th place with 1:14.3. His teammate is going to be next across the line, but he has invalidated as well. And Feber comes out of the final corner. Has he improved? Oh, 13.4. That is an insane lap from Feber.
Don't forget about Crush. He's had a great middle sector and a great last chicane. Those last 2 corners were really good as well, Gus.
Down by 700, so can he get it in the final sector? He's improved to 1:13.888, but only good enough for third place. And that is it for your qualifying in Tier 1. Feber with an absolutely monster time of a 1:13.4. Simdogger P2 with a 1:13.8. Crush as well, 13.8 for P3. Sandeezy 4th with 13.9. Artanis with a 13.9 as well for P5. Hero with a 14.0. And we'll go through the rest in just a moment as leaderboard loads up for the end of the session.
Oh my goodness.
And that was dominant from Feber. Absolutely dominant.
If the season so far hasn't been a sign, that is a big sign. That's esports times, Gus. That's crazy.
Absolutely. So Hero there, P6 with the 1:14.0, JKO 7th with the 14.0, Baitmate 8th with the 14.3, Trin with a 14.3 as well for P9, and Captain of Gold rounds out the top 10 with a 14.5. So they will all be starting on the soft tyre for our race, and the rest of the grid will have free choice, but kind of expecting everyone to go with the softs. We saw a few people in Tier 3 start on the mediums, get caught out by the early safety car, and that strategy really didn't pay off in the end. But Sam, that's just insane from Feber.
That is insane, and his teammate Hero out of position. It'd be interesting to see how Hero handles this. He's out of position, he's got the pace on the guy's head. Does he keep a cool head? We know he hasn't scored a point so far this season. 21st in the driver's standings. Behind Potsy, who is no longer with us.
We had to extend the leaderboard so that we could see see poor Hero down the very bottom, so that he wasn't left out. But yeah, unfortunately, it's uncharacteristic because he had done very well last season when the McLaren drivers didn't crash into each other, to be fair, but which happened a few times. I think Monza as well, they came together, didn't they?
Yep, out of the second Lesmo.
That's right, so now they're a bit further apart. Hopefully they can get a solid points finish with a few drivers missing tonight. And hopefully Hero's able to get on the board for this season. Just waiting for the drivers to confirm their race strategy, confirm their setups and fuel loads. So we'll be ready to go on the formation lap in just a few seconds. And there we go. 30 seconds is the maximum amount of time we'll have to wait. And yeah, be interested to see if anyone tries to go for the alternate strategy, but soft medium seems to be the way to go. So Seb, what lap are we expecting people to pit, assuming that there is no safety car intervention?
Around 11 to 13. 11-12 is the prime 2 laps to pit as a team, as a constructors, but some drivers may want to pit around lap 10. You can get to the end with those medium tyres doing 22 laps. It's around 3% wear per lap on the mediums. But 11 and 12 is that prime spot, but we can see drivers vary a little bit. Tyre weight isn't the biggest issue in the world around here.
Absolutely. So everyone on the soft tyre except for Big Al, who's opted to go on the medium tyre, and given how much he's out of position, kind of not surprised he's gone for something different, but also I would have thought, given how much pace he usually has, a soft tyre would have been a better option to get through the back markers to get up into the points, but we'll see how that plays out for the Alpine driver. Everyone else sticking with the softs as expected.
Now, we'll talk about it when we get back to the starting grid, but notice how Feber had to turn right straight away off the start-finish line. Off of the first grid slot, I should say. That's just
Yeah,
the disadvantage of starting on pole here.
Monaco's quite similar to that. It's, you've got the grid's positions all pointing towards the outside wall, which is not ideal when you're trying to go the opposite way and cover off the guy next to you, but hopefully he's able to get a good getaway. But Simdog a P2, that's an absolute mega qualifying from him. Great for him to get the Aston Martin on the front row.
Yeah, he's been on it all night, sorry, all day really. Had a good practice session earlier on, with a good qualifying. He was in a battle with Trin. I expect Trin to be a bit disappointed with his time, because if Trin is able to get within a DRS train, he can do some damage to those top drivers.
Absolutely. Phoebe comes around the last corner, so they will be forming up on the grid now. The AI will be in control. Thank you very much for the follow, Sunny2K. Really appreciate everyone's support here at Aussie Formula Racing. So give us the follow, show us your support. But here we go, everyone gridding up. Be underway in just a few seconds' time. Here we go, Polypepsi, the last one to take their grid position. As we await the lights, commence the race. And here we go. Lights are coming on. And we're away. Would love a better camera. Thank you very much, Codemasters. And great start from Phoebe. Simdogger having to cover off from the Ferrari. He's going very defensive. And look, I think that's the Alfa Romeo trying to go around the outside of the Ferrari. They're going almost 3 wide there. Oh, the Alfa Romeo having to take over the curb. I think the other one did as well. Fairly tidy apart from that. If you look further back through the field, it looks like Batemate has made up a little bit of ground there, up into 7th place, sorry. As he goes side by side with the Williams through the hairpin. That's Artanis there in P6. Very, very tidy start though from our Tier 1 driver, Seb.
Yeah, nothing really to note of apart from Sandeezy having to do the Hamilton and skipping over some curbs. So fast, so clean from the drivers. Biggest riser is Big Al, and biggest dropper is Pond and Ekem, Andocat, JKO, Jackson and Sandeezy all losing 1 spot on that opening lap.
A Trin there going wide at Aqua Minerale, had to avoid the ripple strip in the exit. So we see side by side through the chicane is Pond and Andocat. Andocat running Pond running very deep. Able to get through. Jump a little bit further up, and Fever's already got a 7th, 10th lead at the moment. Coming back, Big Al's gained another place. He's got past combined YouTuber up into P12. And the Ferrari losing the rear slightly in the final corner. He's going to lose the position to Andocat as well.
Yeah, straightforward move, and Andocat's got Big Al right there as well.
Oh, don't go 3 wide. Come on, please don't. As Big Al takes that 12th position, up 4 places since the start. Hero up 2 positions as well, up into P4. We've got Batemate as well as gained 1 position, but loses Sandeezy, Artanis, JKO, combined YouTuber, and Ekem all down a couple of places.
Yeah, so Big Al doing great work on those medium tyres, right behind his teammate. You got to get in that DRS train though, that is extended from Fever downwards, and I feel like they'll change the Simdogger, which is P2 all the way down to P11.
Absolutely. Very, very tight at the middle though. Big Al just getting within DRS range of T-Mac now. Is there going to be orders at Alpine to let Big Al through, Seb?
Not sure. I think it'll depend on how T-Mac's dealing with these guys up ahead, but Big Al does have superior pace to T-Mac, so I'd assume that there may be some words if T-Mac doesn't get a move on.
Absolutely. Sandeezy's dropped out of DRS range of Hero, so Hero's clear in P4, so we've got 2 trains formed now. Simdogger sets a fast lap of the race with 116.9, so he's maintained the gap with Fever, so he'll get DRS the next time around.
DRS worth about 5/10 Gus, so it's big. This is massive.
Ali in the chat saying that he's told T-Mac to let Big Al through. Fun fact, if you didn't know, that Ali is Big Al's brother, so he's the race engineer down there. T-Mac let Big Al go for the championship, he's told him. Thank you for that. Good insights into the Alpine garage there.
Trin's apparently their cousin as well, so a bit more insight there for you, Gus.
Well, they need to give him a bit of a hurry up. He's currently down in P9, and he's stuck in that DRS train behind Sandeezy, who's up into P5. And that DRS train goes all the way down to 12th place. Oh, as we see there, Simdog has lost it at Aqua Minerale, and he is going to lose a ton of places there. It looked like he just lit up the rears on the exit curb, and he's down to P16. Apollo Pepsi has had some sort of issue. He's way down to P17, 42 seconds behind Simdogger. But that is unfortunate there for the Aston Martin.
And Big Al changing places with T-Mac, but uncharacteristic from Simdogger. Didn't need to make that mistake. And he has, and what it's done is now Crush is going to fall victim to Hero here for P2.
And here we go, Hero getting past the Ferrari of Crush with the assist of DRS. So Crush must have dropped out of range of FIBA there. And yeah, Hero's 1.5 seconds away from his teammates. It's currently a McLaren 1-2. And we see Sandesi as well, 1.5 seconds behind Crush. So Crush will want to try and stay with Hero here, get towed up towards the front. Otherwise, it's going to be a very lonely race there, sitting in between the two DRS trains.
Interesting, this is a big DRS train from P4 all the way down to P15. It's going to be very hard to overtake if you're not at the front of it. You need a mistake from the drivers. You need to keep it clean if you're getting pressure from behind. Looking at JKO and Jackson here, who have Bait and Trin all over their rear wings within 3/10 by the looks of it.
Little mistake there from Sandesi through Aqua Minerale. He had to go across the blue painted section to avoid the rumble strips. It's cost him a little bit of time. Still within 7/10 of Sandesi's. Big Al's already got a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits. So in his big push to try and make up those positions from the start, he's only 4 laps in and already got a 3-second penalty for it.
Yeah, just pushing a bit too hard too early on. It's a long race, it's 32 laps.
Ali in the chat saying it was an instant penalty, so I'm sure he'll be doing that after the race. There's a few of those around this track I've heard.
It said he had 2 warnings on his next to his name, and it's come up with 2 warnings on lap 4 with a penalty as well to go with it.
Oh, Hero's gone off! Hero's gone off at the exit of turn 2. Where is he? He's dropping down through the field. You can see him rejoining there. And he was completely on his own there. He was just within DRS of his teammate, and he's just gone off. He's lost it, and you can see his rears are overheated. Going through the Villeneuve chicane there, he's nearly lost the rear again. And Hero, we thought he was going to get some points here, finally get on the board, and he's dropped way, way back now.
It's not been his season. He's had a bit of trouble. His baitmate's gone wide through Aqua Minerale, and just checking on Big Al's warning situation. He got a warning on lap 1 for a collision with Pondon. Then the next lap it was for exceeding track limits, and then can confirm he got 2 warnings in 1 corner, Gus.
Well, I'm sure that will be looked at after the race. The collision warnings do not count towards your track limits penalties, so I'm sure, yeah, that'll be reversed after the race, but that is assuming that he does not get any more warnings for the rest of the race. So still 26 laps to go in this 32-lap race, so plenty of time left. Sandesi very close to the back of Crush there. Crush holding onto this massive train as we've got Combined and Eckham having a little battle here. We've got Pondon as well. Oh, a little bit of contact between Combined and Eckham there. The Aston Martin driver just entangling tyres there with Ferrari.
Just want to point out, Crush is less than 20% ERS. When you're under 10%, you lose power, and losing power around this track is massive because of how fast it is and how flowing it is. You don't really drop below 4th gear too often, Gus.
Absolutely. Pondon also picking up a 3-second time penalty down in P12. He's dropped off the back of the main train, so he's down P12, 2.5 seconds behind. As Captain of Gold also picking up the 3-second penalty.
It's starting to drop now. 3 drivers in 6 laps. Need to keep it clean. Late safety car can change a race.
Got a Captain of Gold running a bit wide there. He's under pressure from Big Al, who's about to move up into P8. He's got the inside line heading down the hill into the second last corner. They're still going side by side. A little bit of contact between the Alfa Romeo and the Alpine. Captain of Gold maintains position, but he's lost the rear coming into the final corner. And is Big Al going to get the run on him here? He's got DRS, but so does Captain of Gold, but a little bit more ERS perhaps. There's only 6% has the Alfa Romeo got. He's not currently deploying it. It looks like Big Al's going to wait his time. So have a look at the front. And we've got Sandesi and Crush having a little battle. And the Ferrari nearly gets run out of road. But look at Artanis go down the inside and capitalise on that. The Ferrari of Crush got pushed out way wide. And Artanis made the most of the opportunity and moves up onto the podium. So you see Batemate having a little bit of a lunge there as well. The Ferrari who runs a bit deep, but he's made contact as well.
Might be damage.
Couldn't see anything fly off, but he's gone backwards now. He's lost position to his teammate and to Trin, and he tumbles down to P7. Looked like it was a bit of an optimistic lunge there on the Ferrari, and the Ferrari turned across him and just caused a little bit of a loss in traction there for the Ferrari, as we see race controls. Another 3-second penalty to Artanis. Not great, given he's just moved up into 3rd place. Having a look further back, and Eckham's lost position Pondon as well, as JKO gets a 3-second penalty now. They're dropping like flies here, these penalties. And that's going to hurt them all if the field gets bunched up by a safety car later on this race set.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got to keep in mind that these DRS trains, if they do stay on all race, it'll still hurt them regardless of a safety car. Look how strong DRS is, 5/10 a lap. Got a real big chance of some overtakes here. Big Al's getting real close to Captain of Gold.
There it goes, running outside as Eckham's pulled into the pits for Aston Martin. Oh, Big Al gets squeezed right up onto the curb. I saw an incident there in Formula 3 that looked very similar to that. He's trying to go for the switchback on the Alfa Romeo drive. He's got a bit of a run heading into the Villeneuve chicane. He's got the inside line. He's in front, and he gets the position done. A great little move there from Big Al. Set that up a few corners earlier, and a beautiful execution there. Moves up to P8.
Good move. Use what little ERS he had on Captain of Gold to get the move done, and into P8. He's put in some good laps and corners here on those medium tyres.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking through the field, so Fever's absolutely bolted. 6-second clears of Sandesi now, who's got the massive train all the way down to P11. Interesting.
On 70% ERS's Hero has spun once again.
Yeah, Aquaminerali again. Looks like he's just lost it on the exit curb. And this race really not going well for him. I don't think he's pit yet. He's probably hanging on to try and get to the, probably lap 11 or 12 when he can use the mediums to the end. But he's really going to be hoping for a safety car from this, I think, to kind of salvage his race.
Here comes Jackson, Gus.
We go. He's gone down the inside of Sandesi into turn 1. And pretty comfortable overtake there. Sandesi not putting up too much of a fight. He knows that as long as he stays in DRS, he'll still be in with the shot of P2 towards the end.
60% ERS for Sandesi. He's doing a very good job managing that ERS. It's so hard to gain it back around here.
Absolutely. His Batemate having to defend the inside from Big Al into the hairpin. And he nearly lost the rear there on the exit curb. Big Al all over the back of him as it comes into fast left-hander. Oh, is he lost the rear? That's Batemate gone. He's into the wall. He's managed to keep all wheels attached to his wagon. The front wing is looking okay as he rejoins. Oh, he's lost the rear again as he tried to get back on the track. And that is very unfortunate. He was showing so much pace in qualifying. And unfortunately, he tumbles down to P14, Seb.
He's lucky that wall kept curving towards the shape of the corner. Otherwise, there's a chance his rear wheel could have got caught in one of those tyre barriers. The little props or assets in the game, and then could have torn off there. He's very lucky that the angle was not there for that to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, he's down to P14, and this DRS train has claimed another victim. Oh, look at Captain of Gold defending across to the left there as T-Mac goes around the long way. Looked like they were both going the same way for a moment. T-Mac did well to avoid contact, and he moves up to P8.
T-Mac doing some good work here, along with Big Al. Both Alpines up 12 total positions in this race, with Big Al carrying the brunt. And Big Al's got Trin right in front of him. He'll be sizing up a move very soon, rather than later, with how he's going.
Absolutely. So we've now got a train from P2 all the way down to P10. Combined YouTuber desperately trying to hang on, but he's dropped off about 0.6 of a second behind. 1.4 seconds behind Andocat there. So he's got to try very hard. Batemate comes to the pits. Must have picked up some wing damage from that collision. You see Ekam, Apollo Pepsi, and Hero all gaining positions there.
Al is so close as JK has made a mistake in the finals. Chicane, Gus.
Oh, yeah.
He's losing positions.
Absolutely.
Majorly.
Looked like he'd lost the rear on the exit. He's lost positions to Trin and Big Al now. And he's used up a fair chunk of ERS as well for good measure. So he's down to P7 now.
Oh. Big Al's just on fire right now, guys. He's got Trin in the pits now.
JKO in the pits too, so it looks like those soft tyres starting to fall off the cliff a little bit. So we see Artana, Sandeezy, Pondon, maybe? No Pondon. Trin and JKO all coming into the pits to get onto the medium tyre from here.
They want the undercut from lap 10.
Absolutely, so let's keep a close eye on that. The rest of the train up to Crush. All the soft runners. Big Al is still on the medium, and there's yet to be a safety car, so Big Al could find that the alternate strategy plays in his favour. He's all the way up to P3 now.
Yeah, but he's got to hope some drivers stop dropping it. And if one of them does lose their wheel, there's a high chance of a safety car with the amount of spinning we've seen so far. Luckily enough, we haven't seen a lot of debris, so he might just get a virtual safety car at some point. Not a full one, but with how frequent safety cars can come by, he's got to need a little bit of luck here.
Absolutely. So Artanis currently 14 seconds behind Simdogger, and he's about 17, 19, 20 or so seconds behind Andocat and P6, who's at the tail of that train for Crush, which is up into P2. So to say that, Big Al right on the back of Crush as they come into the final two corners, so he's going to stay out, but I expect Crush will probably come into the pits here to cover off on that undercut, and he does indeed.
Yep. T-Mac into the pits as well. Surprised he didn't stay with Big Al there, just to try and use his DRS to drag him along and keep those mediums alive, maybe play for a safety car, which is what I believe Feber is doing right now.
So we're going to jump on board with Artanis now. It's currently in P10. Comes through the second last corner now as our train ahead is starting to come to the pit exit. And are we going to see Artanis make any gains of position here? The Ferrari is just about to come out of the pits and jump on board with Artanis now. And he has cleared. So it looks like the undercut has worked. Trin moves up into a few places as well. And JKO and Crush have a little bit of battle, but Crush has lost out quite massively there from that undercut.
Interesting enough, T-Mac's still in somewhat of the same position he was before, just lost out of position there to believe... Actually, I'm not even entirely sure. It's Pondon, that's who he's lost out to, because Pondon hasn't pit yet. Same with Combined.
Absolutely.
Big Al and Feber.
Looks like, yeah, the undercut very, very powerful here, and it's caught out a couple of the drivers who decided to stay out one lap longer. As Feber comes to the pits as well, but they say he's going to be pretty safe from Sandeezy there. Looks like, though, Big Al will inherit the lead as he has decided to... What is it? That's not Big Al. That's Big Al. There we go. That was a weird bug from the game. I definitely clicked on Big Al. Big Al's still on those medium tyres, so he'll stay out for as long as he can, but he'll probably change to the softs if there is a safety car around about lap 20 or so.
He can take it from about lap 17, maybe lap 16 if he's feeling lucky. Those soft tyres will take about 14 laps to get to 70%.
Well, interestingly enough,
a bit risky.
Maybe his strategy in qualifying wasn't so odd after all. I mean, he's got a ton of fresh soft tyres in the bank because he only used the medium and one set of softs for his Q1 appearance, and he didn't make it through. So he has a lot of fresh rubber sitting in the pit, so he will be able to stretch those soft tyres quite far if he has to. So keep an eye on Big Al, because this could come towards him towards the back end of the race.
And he looks like the most likely challenger to take on Feber here. But I think he will need a very late race safety car in order to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Feber currently sitting a bit of no man's land at the moment. He's 8.8 seconds behind Pondon, who is yet to pit for those soft tyres. We've got Artanis as well, nearly 6 seconds behind Feber, but there is a massive train. Goes all the way down to P10 behind Artanis. So we see Andocat Combined YouTuber dropping off a fair bit after their pit stops.
And Pondon into the pits now. Last soft runner to come in and change over those tyres to a set of mediums.
I think he might lose out here. Wouldn't be surprised if we see him outside of the points after this, as we've got Sandeezy making a move on Artanis. No DRS to defend with for Artanis, and the Alfa Romeo blast past. And sure enough, Pondon dropping down to P12 after that pit stop.
Yeah, Sandeezy and Jackson are just going to keep trading positions. But still Sandeezy with 80% ERS. If he stays in front, he could keep this position here. With the fact that he has around 60% more battery usage available to him. It's a great position to be in if you're the Alfa Romeo driver.
So we've now got every driver on the medium tyres, but I think we might see these penalties come into play a little bit later on. We've got Big Al on 3 seconds, same as Tanis, Captain of Gold, and Simdog up it. Condon and JKO both on 6 seconds of penalties, so going to make life a little bit difficult for them towards the back end of the race. So we see Crush and JKO go for a little bit of a battle into the chicane. They're side by side. The Alpha Tauri trying to keep it around the outside, but runs out of road, and Crush moves up into P6.
Nice move for Crush. You need to get in that DRS though in the next lap and a bit, otherwise I think he will get overtaken by JKO here. Need around 6/10 on the car in front and a bit of ERS to get a move done. I'm not sure JKO has enough ERS to maybe get this move done into turn 2 here, Gus. Yeah, he's closing though.
You can see the light on the back of the car flashing, indicating that he's very low on ERS. T-Mac darts to the inside. No. Oh, sorry, that was JKO. Tried to have a bit of a look at the Ferrari. Not able to get a move on.
He's just going to be struggling in the straights now, JKO. It wasn't necessary to use all that ERS. Just needs to save it. Use Crush as a bit of a pull me along with the loss of power he will be getting by being under 10% ERS available.
And Crush is struggling to stay within DRS range of Trin there, 0.9 of a second. Really needs to use a little bit of that ERS, but he's only sitting on about 9 or 10%. Try and stay within DRS, because otherwise he's going to be a city duck, as Trin runs very deep at Aqua Minerale again. We saw him do that a couple of times in qualifying, and not quite getting his braking right there for that very fast chicane set.
No, not entirely. Still trundling along though. And still got nearly 16 and a half the race left, as I believe Pepsi has dropped it out of Aqua Minerale.
He has. He's in the wall. He's lost the end plate as well. He's facing the wrong way. Waits for Batemate to go through, and he'll have to do a trip through the pit lane, I believe. Going to struggle here with very high-speed corners. Do not suit a car with a broken wing. So, unfortunately, Pepsi not having a great race tonight.
Sandesi might have just disconnected here. I'm getting a bit of a red X from him right in front of Jackson.
He's lost a lot of pace. Artanis all over the back of him through the Villeneuve chicane, coming into the hairpin. Can't see anything on my screen, but he's definitely losing a lot of pace. Artanis is a big moment coming out of the hairpin. I thought he was about to make a move on Sandesi, but just that mistake has just cost him a few tenths, and maybe work back up to it.
Might just be a little bit of a glitch here. I'm not entirely sure right now. No, he has left the session.
There we go, confirmation. Artanis struggling to get past him though, so the AI doing a good job just to stay in front, but I feel he's going to be going backwards pretty quickly once he gets on the straight, and sure enough, they're down to 2 tenths already.
Yeah, Artanis will want that DRS. Got to be careful not to run to the back of the AI first off in these 2 corners. He'll take that DRS. Use a bit of ERS to get by and just steam through and Crush. If Crush and Trin would like to get by this AI of Sandesi as well, and be beneficiary to their races.
As we see Trin having a go on the back of Artanis as well. We're going to go 3 wide, heading down into turn 1. Oh, there's no, Artanis has been spun around. Trin takes to the gravel. Oh, the Ferrari's gone as well. Crush has been contacted by the spinning car, and he's pointing the wrong way. He's in the gravel as well. Oh, the terrible camera that the game's decided to give me. Oh, he's hitting everyone. Crush is just... He's taken Simdogger out as well. He tried to do a flick turn. I don't know if that's desync related, but it was basically like a Grosjean in Spain a few years ago, if you remember, Seb.
Goodness.
And he basically tried to do a flick turn. He took out the front, took out Simdogger, and there's a safety car deployed now.
Big Al. Big Al's in this race again.
15 laps to go. Wilsoff's last, Seb. 15 laps.
I think so. He'll have about maybe 3 to 5% wear come the end of the safety car, and I think probably be 14, 13 laps of green flag racing. I think he can make it work, but oh my goodness.
Psycho in the chat.
Yeah, Psycho,
oh my god, the paperwork as our head steward is not going to enjoy that one.
That just looked like a catastrophe. It looked like Sandesi's AI just went in too deep into the corner, took out Jackson, Jackson took out Crush, and then Crush took out...
It was a mess, and...
It's a mess. We need multiple angles of that, don't we?
Yeah, the off-board angle from the game wasn't great because he was right in the cutover between the 2 cameras, so unfortunately we didn't quite catch it, but Trin stays out on the medium tyres, so does Sandesi. FIBA's gone on to another set of medium tyres, Seb. He doesn't think
I'm
the
not.
softs will get to the end, but he's dropped. Look at the track position he's losing here. I think he's made the wrong decision here because we've seen how difficult it is to pass when you're in the DRS train.
He has the pace. It's such a difficult decision to make. Do you go into softs, which I don't think he has a fresh set of softs, so he has to go into the mediums. But I don't think the mediums are fast enough to be able to beat Big Al here, who is on fresh softs now. 15 laps remaining, or 14 and a bit. I believe we'll have 12 laps of green flag running with how spread out that field is, and look at where Polo Pepsi is on that track map. So, green flag running from lap 21. Big Al's soft tyres will last.
But can Big Al pull out a 3-second lead, though? That's the biggest question, because he's got that penalty.
I think
even if it gets reversed, the double warning that he got earlier, he may have accumulated other warnings. I'm not sure. I haven't had a look, but
I will definitely have a look.
He would want to pull out a 3-second lead anyway, just to be safe in case it's not overturned by the stewards.
And big news is that he doesn't have another warning.
Wow, that's interesting.
I think skill-wise he can do it. He's plus the soft tyres and trins on older rubber and harder rubber. He's got every chance to do it here. A win from absolutely nothing. Masterstroke. We're looking like idiots now, Gus. Or at least I am for getting him out at the start.
The medium to soft strategy doesn't work if there's an early safety car, but we had a late safety car around that lap 20 mark, which is exactly what Big Al wanted. So it's a gamble for sure, but when you're starting second last on the grid, you may as well do something different because it's the only way that you can go from last to first in a very, very competitive grid like we've got here in Tier 1.
Exactly. Sandeezy P3, Captain Gold P4, so look at where those Alfa Romeos are compared to where they were with all those drivers leading FIBA, JKO, T-Mac, Combined YouTuber, Ecam, Hero, Simdogger, Baitmate Crush, all pitting. Obviously some having to pit because of that turn 2, 3, 4 drama. But I suspect, Gus, it will be green flag running from lap 21 onwards. And Big Al's a massive favourite, but safety cars breed safety cars. We've got the pack tightened up again. We're still yet to lose a driver. Although we've seen a lot of spinning, we're yet to lose a driver. Anything can happen.
I think everyone's still on the lead lap as well, so I think Pepsi has managed to stay on the lead lap. He's going through the Villeneuve chicane now, so I think he'll be counting his blessings now that he's back on the back of the field after having a couple of dramas earlier on in the race. So we're essentially just getting a 25% race here to the end.
Exactly.
I think we might see another lap of the safety car. Pepsi's still at Aqua Minerale as the safety car's coming down the hill towards the second last corner. So probably go around one more time, and that's only going to help Big Al. He's going to save his softs just a little bit longer.
Another thing, Gus, is that those softs will heat up quicker, a lot quicker than those medium tyres. You know, the sun's out, so a little bit more help to those medium runners, but it's still quite hard, especially in that first sector. When those tyres are a bit cooler and hard to get warmed up, and you'll be losing time, especially to turn 2 and 3, Gus.
Absolutely. Well, we had the safety car in Tier 3 a little bit earlier this evening, and it was very, very difficult to get those medium tyres into the 90-degree window behind that safety car. It just is, you really... It's times like that where you can kind of relate to the complaints you get in F1 where they complain that the safety car is going too slow, because you really need to lean on those tyres to be able to get them up into that window, because you don't want to be hurtling down to that chicane at 250 kilometers per hour and just the tyres don't want to stop.
Yeah, Sector 2 and Sector 3, the safety car is extremely slow, so I know from what I was doing with my restart in Tier 3, I was struggling to get those rears up to temp because, well, the throttle gets locked when the safety car says it's coming in, and you can only really warm up those front tyres. So I started off I believe it was lap 13 or lap 12 with 90-degree front tyres and 78-ish, 79-degree rear tyres.
Yeah, from about Aqua Minerale to the to Sector 3, I was it was just in the McLaren running a little bit wide. I was dropping down in first gear and just gunning it to try and get some wheel spin to warm up those rears, because like, as you say, you can weave in a straight line and that's good for the fronts, but there's just nothing for the rear tyres at all when the safety car's only going 150 km an hour.
Great way of putting it. Safety car in, and you see it peel off, and Big Al pulled up the pack. The best thing for Big Al to do is to slow down to about 80 k's, let that safety car come in, and then as he comes out of that, or what is technically the third last corner, turn 17, which is the first left-hander, you'll see him take here. That's the time to go.
Absolutely, because as we just said, the mediums take longer to warm up, but he's gone already. He's gone before the second last corner. And how's he gone? He's caught Trin out there. He's 8/10 behind.
Oh, that's a great restart.
Great restart from Big Al. And he's almost out of DRS range already.
And look at Faber though. He's getting onto the back opponent. He needs to get overtakes done quickly, Gus. 12 laps remaining. Here we go.
He's got around the outside, heading into turn 1. And we can see the Mercedes and the Williams so just ahead, having a little bit of a battle as well. Feber's all over the back of them as well. The Mercedes runs a little bit wide, and Feber's got a mega run on him. He's got the inside into the Villeneuve chicane, and he moves up to P6. He's getting 2 positions in just 3 corners, Seb.
And he could get one more. Jackson could come pray to Faber. Faber's so fast, so strong with his pace. We could see him move into the second last corner. Oh, sorry, technically the third last corner.
Looking a little bit further back, JKO and Andercat going side by side. Oh, hopefully it doesn't end the way it did for Zhao and Gasly. It's still side by side as I head into Aqua Minerale. That's T-Mac and Andercat, but T-Mac gets through. And the Ferrari, though, and Hero looks like they've come together a little bit further back. Combined, tumbling down the order to 14th as Feber makes a move on Artanis just before the chicane. So he is absolutely on a charge, trying to get back in within 3 seconds of Big Al, Seb.
Oh, but Big Al is 2.7 in front of Trin. That's 2 seconds in the space of 1 lap. That's absolutely ridiculous from Al. It's what he needs.
Absolutely, and Trin's going to be defending pretty hard from Sandesi as well. He's got Captain of Gold, his teammate, right behind him, also with a 3-second penalty. So Feber's going to come up onto this little train behind Trin in P2, and he needs to clear it as quickly as possible, but he does have fresher tyres. If we have a look at the tyre compounds at the moment, he's only on 3-lap old mediums, but Trin, Sandesi, and Captain of Gold all on tyres that are nearly 10 laps old.
Exactly. DRS not enabled this lap, will be enabled next lap, and we will still won't see it for another lap after that.
Absolutely. It looked like Eckham had to take the inside curb, jumping over those big sausage curbs. So he had a little bit of contact with Hero there at turn 1. And I wonder if he's just got a little bit of damage. He's dropped all the way back to the back of the field. And not having a great race at all.
Still a lot of racing to go though, Gus. 10.5 laps. Feber can still do this.
Absolutely. Big Al out to 4-second lead, so unless those softs drop off the cliff, he looks like he's pretty set for the moment. Have a look a little further up, and Feber within 2/10 of Captain of Gold now. And it's almost just a second covering 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, so they're so close together as they come past the pit straight, Seb.
Oh, it's about to be on here, and luckily for Captain of Gold, he's got Sandesi in front of him and Trin in front of him, and that is stopping Fever from getting by, and that's massive for Big Al. JKO getting by Pondon here.
Yeah, but he had to cut the curb to do it, so Pondon gets to move back because JKO had to slow right down to avoid overshooting and colliding into the... just past the side by side to the Villeneuve chicane. A little bit of contact between Pondon and JKO. I wonder if that was just a little bit of unhappiness as T-Mac goes for a big dive into the hairpin alongside the Alpha Tauri, who gets pushed right up into the curb and whacks him in the side. Big tyre-to-tyre action there between JKO and T-Mac. They go side by side into the left-hander. Oh, that was almost a carbon copy of what we saw last night. But they managed to get through without any damage at all. The JKO looks like he just locked the rears a little bit coming into Aqua Minerale, and T-Mac all over the back of him with those soft tyres. He's got so much more pace than the Alpha Tauri now.
You see JKO blinking. Once again, poor ERS management from the Alpha Tauri. These two leaving it all on the track at the moment.
Absolutely. Keep an eye on Feber as well. He's within a couple of tenths still a Captain of Gold, but that DRS train is really starting to hurt him. Big Al out to nearly a 6-second lead now.
Right now, Fever's ERS situation looking dire. He's not going to be able to get a move done here, Gus. Because he's got no ERS. He's on 3% ERS at the moment.
Absolutely. T-Mac getting past JKO now. As we look further up, and Trin has got past Captain of Gold, so he's just 3/10 now behind Sandesi. In fact, I think it's the other way around. Oh, as Pondon and T-Mac have come together. That looks like the exit of turn 2. They both went spinning off into the wall. I
I'm
didn't
not
see what
quite
happened
sure.
there at all, but
It just seemed like Ponnen might have understeered into T-Mac there and that sent them both spinning around. I didn't get a good look at it though, but it's definitely points both gone for each driver and each constructor.
JKO has slowed right down as well. I'm not sure if has he got a puncture? I wonder if there was contact between JKO and T-Mac. I wonder if that's what's happened there as Fever has managed to get past Captain of Gold. He's up to P4 now. There's too much going on. I don't know what to look at right now, but let's keep an eye on what's happening there with JKO. He's going very, very slowly.
I'd like to point out Pepsi's been nowhere this race, Gus, and he's into P11. He's got a chance at some points.
He's on the soft tyre as well, so he, as long as he can look after those tyres, he has have so much more pace than everyone else around him.
And Fever trying to go to work on Trin. But problem is, Trin's got some DRS assistance here. 7 laps remaining. I think that gap's just too big for Fever.
Yeah, 6.5 second lead now for Big Al, so even if he doesn't get that penalty overturned, he is looking pretty good as Apollo Pepsi is into the points now after we'd almost written him off in the first half of the race. He is in the points.
Great drive, kept with it, didn't give up. It's not over yet though, Combined still sticking with him pretty tightly, and Batemate's right there as well.
Absolutely, but Apollo Pepsi less than 2/10 behind Andocat, so he's not done yet. As you see Trin go very defensive. It's a little bit of contact between Fever and Trin there as they come into Aqua Minerale, and Fever's lost the position to Captain of Gold. He tries to rejoin, and Captain of Gold leaves just enough room, but it looked like Fever had just got a little bit of overlap on Trin there, the first part of Aqua Minerale, and just a little bit of contact sent him very deep into the corner. Lucky not to end up in the wall, but that's not going to help Fever's cause to try and get up into 3-second range of Big Al.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's possible at the moment. And his ERS situation is killing him, and I think he has damage, Gus.
Yeah,
judging
possibly.
from those 2 corners, I think he has some severe damage to that front wing.
He's got both of his end plates still, so it must only be lime green damage, but even that will be costing him a few tenths a lap, and that is not what he needs right now. As you see, Apollo Pepsi's got past Andocat as well. He's up into P9, and he just keeps pushing further and further. Batemate and Combined YouTuber as well. It goes right outside, and the Mercedes has spun. Andocat has gone off. Batemate up into P10. Combined YouTuber is still in P11, though. It looked like Batemate just had so much more speed, but just may have just clipped his tyre instead of spinning around to the inside of the track.
No, it's such a tight corner. Might have come across him. Andocat might have just carried too much speed in the corner and just run into the side of Batemate, who sent it. What could have been a beautiful lunge around the outside, but contact has
Artanis down the inside. Sorry to interrupt you, Seb, but Artanis down the inside of Fever and Aqua Minerale, and he's forced him off onto the tarmac, but I think he's got the move done here into the chicane. He's going to go side by side, but he can't normally go side by side, and Artanis has to take to the runoff area, and I think Fever's going to have to let Hero through. He's definitely got some sort of damage, and McLarens are all over each other at the moment, and Fever's used up all of his ERS. He goes to the inside. No, Hero backs out wisely out of the final corner. Gives his teammate a bit of a bump on the diffuser, though, just to give him the hurry up, and he's not making it easy for his teammate here.
Oh, he really should get out the way. Now, what doesn't help is that Jackson's right there. Could be a bit of a road stop for Fever.
Oh, he's just blocked his teammate as well. He's about to go for a move. He goes down the inside into turn 2, and he's got through, but it looks like Fever's about to lose the position to Simdogger as well. He's definitely got some wing damage because he's so much slower in the corners than everyone else said.
Exactly, and keep in mind, we've still got a battle for P2 going on that we've completely forgot about. As Fever slides off the track, he's really using that right foot to get him through the corners here. That's how bad that wing damage is affecting him. Look at him!
Oh, absolutely, he's just lighting up the rears out of every single corner. He is going to make up some ground, though, with the drivers in front of him with the penalties. I'll just bring those up now so that everyone can see just how much he will gain. It could be up as high as P4 if they stay the way that they are, but he is dropping back through the field now with that wing damage.
And Simdogger running to the back of him. He could have got wing damage as well. He's touched him a couple of times, and Pepsi right there in P9.
Absolutely, and you can just see how much slower he is through the chicane. He's dropped off a second and a half from his teammate already, who's all over the back of Artanis. He'll definitely make a move at the end of the pit straight, I think.
Oh, Pepsi got the ERS advantage on both. Simdogger and Fever here could go for a move on both of them. We could have 3 wide as Fever loses the rear bit on exit. It's a poor run for the McLaren.
Goes to the inside, trying to cover them off a little bit short in the track distance, but that Simdogger goes through. So does Apollo Pepsi. Fever down to P9 now. And are we going to see Apollo Pepsi go for a
Oh,
move? And
don't go for it.
No, Pepsi, no! Oh, why? He was too ambitious and he got spun around. He didn't have to make that move there. They both had DRS. He was never going to get far enough alongside. And I think he just carried too much speed and just tagged inside of Simdogger and got spun around. And he's back outside the points. I'm so disappointed for him.
To be honest, that is poor racecraft right there. Down the inside of turn 2, a lunge down the inside is never going to pay off. It's too narrow, it's too fast. We've seen already 2 instances before that where someone was spun around, and Pepsi's just the third victim here.
Absolutely. Combined YouTuber gets past FIBA as well, heading into Aqua Minerale. FIBA really struggling in that first sector with the high-speed corners. Baitmate now all over the back of the McLaren as they come into the chicane, and FIBA might not even end up in the points here at this rate.
Oh my goodness. This race has gone from what was pretty tame to all over the place with just one safety car, Gus.
Absolutely, but have a look at Sandeezy. He is almost broken DRS from Trin. He's still 11 seconds behind Big Al, but until he gets to within DRS range, he is doing a great job at just breaking free from Trin. To see Baitmate losing the position there to Crush, who's been able to get through, but he's trying to come back at him into turn 1, but he decides to back out. As FIBA, I think, is coming to the pits to get that wing replaced. He knows that he was not going to end up in the points without getting that wing fixed, but with only 3 laps to go, I think it's just a bridge too far, unfortunately.
Yeah, he gets to steal the fastest lap point away from any competitor in the top 10 that could potentially have it. But Sandeezy, back to Sandeezy, the power of having saved his ERS is paying off. He's got 30% more than Trin at the moment, and he's 8/10 clear of him.
Absolutely. All he has to do is use that ERS on the run down to the DRS detection point, and he'll be able to just pull outside 1 second where it matters. As we see now, that gap is about 9/10. They're both going to be using a little bit to try and get out of it. You see there, he's just still at 50%. He's using so little of his ERS, and he's managing that gap very nicely indeed. It's a great drive here from Sandeezy.
Very good drive. And Trin, I think he'll settle for a podium here, considering where he was in quali.
Absolutely, and have a look at combined YouTuber down at P8. He may gain quite a bit with the penalties ahead of him. But Captain of Gold was 6 seconds worth of pen, so is Artanis, and 3 seconds for Hero and Simdogger. So if he can get inside that DRS train that's forming in front of him, he may be on for a very, very good result here.
Yeah, exactly. At the moment, it looks like he'll get P6, so 8 points for a Ferrari driver. Needs another penalty from Hero, and he needs to stay within 6 seconds of him. He's about 6.1 from the McLaren.
T-Mac and FIBA both getting on the brakes, trying to get through the DRS detection point after the other one. They did a Verstappen and Leclerc at Jeddah. They both got on the brakes, and it looks like FIBA's got the DRS. So very smart thinking from the two of them. But that was a good little chuckle at the back there.
Not racing for anything, so I want to have a bit of fun. Pepsi. Well, we were seeing his praises for a bit, but it's kind of fallen apart for him now. Big Al from P16 to win the race. No safety cars is possible here, but
absolutely, it's a mega drive from Big Al. Still got 2 laps to go, but it's pretty smooth sailing from here. This Hero, it's a very aggressive switchback on Captain of Gold there. Moves up into P4 as you see our Simdogger and our Tannis trading places as well. Great drive there as well from the Aston Martin and the Williams.
they could feel hard done by that safety car, I reckon. Simdogger and Jackson in a good position, and then it's kind of paid to the benefit of Trin and Sandeezy, especially with all that chaos that happened some laps ago.
Absolutely. And just looking towards this battle for P2, I don't know if Trin has started to shift up a gear a little bit or if Sandeezy's made a mistake, but the gap is now just half a second coming up to the DRS detection zone.
It's the last chance of Trin. It's really turn 2. or bust. He may get a move into turn 7, he may get a move into turn 17, which is where they're on the run down to right now, Gus, but he needs to be within about, I'd say, 4.5 tenths because of the amount of ERS Sandeezy has available to him coming out of that final corner.
And Hero's there as well, so he'll be
Oh.
absolutely chopping at the bit. He's all over the back of Trin, and they've both run a little bit deeper at the final corner and may have just let Sandeezy off the hook. The gap is 6.5 tenths now, and Sandeezy is using all of that ERS, as you mentioned. He's been saving it up and saving it up. Trin has only got 3% left. He may be vulnerable to Hero here. No, he's got nothing left either.
And all hard to manage ERS, but they put themselves in a position where they needed a good run out of that final corner and they didn't get it. And Sandeezy had something to fall back on, and that was 40% worth of battery deployment. As here's Hero all over the back of Trin around the outside, Gus.
Yeah, there we go. The Trin tries to cover off the inside. Hero going to get the drive out of the corner. Trin loses the rear slightly on the inside of the dirty part of the track. And Hero moves up to P3, but he does have a 3-second penalty. So Trin may not be fighting that one too hard if he knows that he's going to get the place back.
Well, interesting enough, Trin nearly spun out of Tosa. He needed to be careful there. Almost threw caution to the wind.
But as he comes through the second last corner, hats off to Big Al with an absolutely mega drive. We'd written him off during qualifying. But he comes across the line, he laps his teammate LP, they're going side by side across the finish line. Well done to Big Al for getting the win there. Sandeezy will be next across the line. He comes through the final corner, he staved off the attack from Hero and Trin. He'll take P2, and Trin will take the final place on the podium as Hero spins and crashes across the line. Absolutely flipped by Trin. That was impressive, I have to say. And Apollo Pepsi comes through the final corner.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, Pepsi out of the points. He was looking pretty good until he went for that ambitious move at turn 1 and unfortunately paid the price.
What?
JKO showed a great amount of pace during this race. Unfortunately, just couldn't keep it clean. And he'll come across the line in P15. And we switch to this man, Feber. Very unfortunately, comes into the pits on the final lap. Such a shame. He was showing mega pace. He was doing F1 esports level pace there in qualifying, and unfortunately went the wrong strategy with the safety car at the end and just got caught up in a little incident on the track, as Leclerc would say. Unfortunately, Feber there ends his winning streak. So we have our second race winner for Season 8 of AFR Tier 1, and it goes to Big Al. Well done there to the Alpine driver.
What would have topped that off, Gus, at the end after Hero flew as if our games crashed?
Absolutely. I'm glad we got through it without any drama at all. So Feber did get the fastest lap of the race, the 1:14.255, so he denies anyone in the top 10 from getting that extra point. But unfortunately, that's just a commiseration prize there for the McLaren driver. Very disappointing there. Hero does pick up his first points of the race with that P4 finish. We've got Simdogger there in the Aston Martin P5. We've got Baitmate, Captain of Gold, Combined YouTuber Crush, and Artanis rounding out the top 10 with Aircam, Apollo Pepsi, Anacat, Pondon, JKO, Feber, and T-Mac rounding out the grid. Thank you very much for the follow, Hugh and Steel Dog. Thank you very much for your support. We hope you enjoyed the race. Just bring up the incidents for any drivers who require that for the incident reporting tomorrow. Thank you very much, Seb, for joining me this evening. I hope you had fun in the commentary box tonight.
Fun as always, a couple of drinks and good time with Gus.
Wonderful, I enjoyed it as well. Thank you, Seb, for coming along. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We will be back in about 15 minutes time for Tier 2. So please stick around. I've been Gus Rules, this has been Seb, and we'll see you next time.